Salvete omnes. Welcome to Land and Sea Section 1. This is intended to be flipped learning, that is to say, you learn it for homework and then we go over it in class. I will talk quite fast because this is a video. You can pause and rewind it. So I'm not going to explain all the notes, read them for yourself. Very, very brief bit of background. Pliny the Younger, nephew of Pliny the Elder, was born as an equestrian, which is the second highest rank. However, he becomes a lawyer and a politician. He rises to the actual senatorial rank and eventually gets all the way up to being suffect consul, which is basically the highest rank you could reasonably get to underneath the emperors. However, he's most famous for writing a lot of letters, over 100 in fact, including 2 of them about Vesuvius's eruption. He had actually seen that firsthand. That's where his uncle died. He wrote the letters 25 years afterwards, but you would imagine it probably makes an impact upon you. He also wrote quite a lot of letters to the Emperor Trajan. Now, he was friends with the Emperor Trajan. He had actually managed to survive a succession of emperors and continuously went up in rank, which is both rare and impressive, considering that emperors are not necessarily all very keen on the previous work of emperors. However, in this particular instance, he has been appointed by his friend as the Legatus Augusti of the province of Bithynia et Pontus in 110 AD. Notice that he is actually shortly going to die, but that's just because he's old. Oldish, actually. Not that old. Anyway, in this particular instance, this is quite interesting because Bithynia et Pontus is meant to be one of the senatorial provinces that does not have an army. The senatorial provinces are the ones in pink here, and you can see that for the most part they're the ones on the inside of the empire. They're relatively stable, so they don't have lots of threats of rebellion, and they're not particularly rich, so they're less worried that some influential senator might try and, become emperor himself. Hence the emperor allows the senate to choose people, instead of the green ones where he picks people that he directly trusts. However, unusually, Bithynia et Pontus, he's actually chosen someone he directly trusts, i.e. Pliny. This is most likely because Bithynia and Pontus has been really badly mismanaged for quite a long time, I believe from corruption and this kind of thing, so he sends off his mate to go deal with the problem. Now I say the word friend. There's still obviously quite a large gap between emperor and one of his senatorial men. So Pliny is going to be quite careful to be offering excuses as to why he is not always the fastest that he could be on his journey, as we shall see. Gaius Plinius to the Emperor Trajan. Since or because I trust master. Straight in there with master. That's not necessarily the vocabulary you use to a friend. Also notice that obviously domine is vocative. That it is of interest to you is how I've translated it. Literally that it pertains or reaches to your care or attention. This is one of the first of the 2 indirect statements. Don't worry about them if you haven't done them. I am reporting to you that I, here's the other second indirect statement, have sailed ad Ephisum, but you don't actually need the ad because it's a city, none of the cities do, so you just write Ephisum to Ephesus, with all my men, people, staff, any of those, around Cape Malia. It's actually, in the original letter, quoted Hupa Malian, beyond Malia, in Greek, hence why it's in inverted commas. Although having been held back, or although I was held back by contrary winds, retentum is a perfect passive participle describing may. Oh, and now we go, we say is actually perfect active infinitive, which you may or may not have done yet, but that's what it is. So if we go back a slide, Cape Malia is just south of Corinth. It's the very most southern easterly bit of Greece here. So the likelihood is Pliny has sailed down from Italy, probably down the coast. He's gone between Italy and Sicily. He's either gone up and then across, or potentially just directly across, but probably up and across. He sailed around Greece, probably stopped in at either Corinth or Athens. to take on more supplies, because remember, these are not big sailing ships in the age of colonial Britain where you can just sail all the way across the Atlantic. He's then sailed across to Ephesus, and he is going to go up the coast of Asia Minor. As you will see, he is very much apologetic for his slow pace. He is not having a good time with the weather. Now I am intending, or in some translations you'll see this translated as a historic present. That is to say, a word that's technically present, but you're going to treat it as perfect because it sounds better. Now I have intended, or now I am intending, to seek or make for my province. Partly by coastal boats, partly by vehicles or carriages. For just as the heavy heats, aistus is actually fourth declension nominative plural, which you probably haven't done yet, but it is. Grawes literally means heavy or serious. I quite like I've translated as burdensome here because it's the nice image of it like weighing down on you, this the oppressive, sticky, horrible heat. Opposes my journey, opposes in the sense of holds back. In the same way, the continuous northerly winds opposes, repeated, but obviously don't need it, my sailing. Iter, technically speaking, just means journey, but here obviously really means journey on land, hence I translated it as march. Reluctor, unsurprisingly, a deponent, takes a dative as its object, just like credo or farweo, hence why itinere and navigatione are both dative. So, as I say, he is continuing his kind of excuses as to why he's taking a while, but he's like, I'm getting on with it, this is what I'm doing, don't worry about it. Trajan is quite nice in his reply. Trajan to Pliny. You have reported correctly, recte there. Notice that recte is put right at the start of the letter. Correctly! He's very much reassuring Pliny that everything's okay. Renuntia visti is what that word should actually be. It's just like navigar we said before, it's sort of shortened it slightly. My dearest secundus. Me, there is a very rare vocative pronoun. It's obviously a superlative, which you can always talk about. Secundus is just part of his name, don't worry about it. For, by what type of, or by what journey you are reaching your province is of interest to my mind, is how I've translated animum. Slightly difficult to get into this. You could just put is of interest to me, as in the previous sentence, or chunk. Notice, as I say, Trajan is very careful to repeat the vocab, so Pliny is nuntio tibi, and what does Trajan do? He writes renuntio. Pliny is talking about how pertinet, the itinere, the provinciam, the pervenia, this is all vocab that was used in the previous letter, so Trajan is repeating about the vocab in his effort to assure Pliny that everything's okay. Nevertheless, or potentially although, autem can be translated as either way, and both of these make sense. You are deciding sensibly, prudentier, to use sometimes boats, sometimes vehicles. I didn't put it down, I probably should have, but utor is deponent, so uti is a just normal infinitive. Utor is a very weird verb in that it takes the ablative as its object, which is what navibus and vehiculis are. I should have noted that and didn't. As literally the places make sweet, oh, that's a terrible translation, obviously, so as the terrain recommends is quite a nice way of getting across what it means. This really should be low-key. I have no idea why it's low-ca as new to plural, but moving on. Again, he's kind of using the same vocabulary back in his reply, and that is it. So you can see the vocabulary that's being used. First chunk, make sure you learn what every word means. We will come to analysing why it means that later. Thanks very much.